Backed by popular demand, two of the Treasure State's favorite sons will host a series of youth football camps across Montana this summer. Fresh off leading Montana State to its first national championship game in 41 years, Taco Dowler and Adam Jones have decided to run it back at Montana State. Part of their desire to stay in Montana stems from being able to influence and inspire the next generation of Bobcats. Jones and Dowler will host 5 camps across the state in the month of June. The duo will be in Missoula on June 6th, Billings June 13th, Butte on June 20th, Helena June 21st, and Great Falls on June 27th. Athletes between the ages of 6 and 14 of all skill levels are welcome to sign up. Dowler and Jones will be accompanied by their Bobcat teammates, providing coaching and positive mentorship for the kids. Each camper receives a camp shirt, water bottle, snack, Gatorade, plus the opportunity to earn custom prizes personally selected by Adam and Taco. There will also be specific time carved out for autographs from all the Bobcats, and merchandise will also be available. If you'd like to sign up for these summer football camps, visit tacoandadamsummerfootballcamps.com. The Taco and Adam football camps are proudly presented by Taco Treat and Yellowstone Law. Continue our lead-up coverage to Montana State's spring game on Saturday in Bozeman. We'll be on hand there, and a lot of fascinating storylines coming out of Montana State as they pursue now a second straight national championship. Matt Smith, the offensive line coach for the Bobcats, joining us here on Nuanez Now. Coach, we appreciate the time. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Had a daughter 3 weeks ago, so
congrats.
Getting some sleep, kinda. But we're in the middle of spring ball, actually towards the end of spring ball, and couldn't be more excited to finish this thing out. Seen a lot of growth, and pleasure always to be here. Appreciate you.
Well, congratulations to you and your family. Is it the first one for you guys?
It is. Yep.
Very
first
nice.
One, little daughter. So it's
very good.
Life-changing for sure.
Great timing. April's better than November.
No doubt. No doubt.
You gotta love it. Well, I think that there's a lot of intrigue coming into this. First of all, we haven't caught up with you since Nashville, so we got to get your perspective on it. I mean, first of all, what a thrilling national championship game, just back and forth. I mean, one of the greatest games I've ever seen or watched. I'm sure plenty stressful when you're on the sidelines and on the coaching staff, but you guys get it done in overtime. First national championship for Montana State in quite some time. So just take us through your perspective on getting that thing done against Illinois State in Nashville.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just unbelievable experience in general. Being out there in Nashville was fantastic. Bobcat takeover. I thought the boys were ready to go. They honestly, one of their best performances on the field. Obviously, there were some struggles with operation, whatever it may be, but the guys battled, and that's what matters. Came together on the sideline before that overtime period, and there was no doubt looking in their eyes that they believed they were going to win that game. Somehow, some way, we were going to get that thing done. And I think the chemistry the boys had up front and just the trust in the offense and the scheme and just trusting their teammates. I think that's what makes our culture special, just true belief and leaning on each other. And what a moment, first year here, national championship, and let's go do it again. But unbelievable experience. I'm proud of those guys. Just the transformation from week one in Oregon to where we got is unbelievable, and it's a huge testament to the way those guys came together and worked and just attacked it every day. So blessed to be in this position for sure.
Just from a coaching and team development standpoint, what were the keys to getting through the tough start and then winning 14 in a row like you guys did? It seemed like you guys had a lot of like a chip on your shoulder, even though you were a top 5 team in the country basically from the beginning because you had to play such tough opponents right out the gates.
Yeah, I mean, you look along that Oregon D-line, and there's 4 first-round picks, and they're all back somehow this year, right? So just the confidence that you get, not that we were obviously perfect that week 1, but did some good things and battled and competed. And now when you look at the rest of the schedule, it's like, all right, well, it's not going to be any harder than that, so we can really go attack it and go. And there's a lot of doubters, and I think naturally so, right? This place is known for running the ball and O-line play, and we struggled in the beginning with injuries and mixing guys around. And the one thing I can appreciate those boys, they didn't back down from the challenge. They went to work every day. Honestly, it brought us closer as a room, and I think that's a really special thing that happened this last year is the belief in the room, belief in what we're doing, and just trying to block the outside noise and just focus on us and focus on the fundamentals. And obviously it ended up working out, and we ended up being able to run the ball and do our thing. So getting knocked down, I think, especially for a younger, inexperienced group, was probably a little bit humbling. Of going to a national championship the year before and obviously falling short, but understanding that any given week, it's going to be a battle. And so just kind of believing in each other, attacking each and every week and getting better. And obviously we found our stride. So it definitely brought our room closer together, and the amount of love we had for each other grew exponentially throughout the season, and I think it showed on Saturdays.
The way that you guys have been able to cultivate such position versatility and have guys be able to move around and really not miss a beat. I know, like you said, it may be tough at the very beginning last year, but, I mean, the total body of work, very, very impressive. How do you do that? Like, how do you go about cultivating that position versatility like you guys had? Because there's been a couple years in a row now where Montana State's had to reshuffle some things. But now, like I was talking about this on the show earlier this week, you got a guy like Burke Massel, for example. You know he can play guard and center. A guy like Fleishmann, you know he can play guard and tackle. So how do you sort of cultivate that sort of stuff, and how much has that been a key to your guys' success as a group?
Yeah, I think it's been huge. I think it's a mentality. You know, I'm transparent, honest with those guys. All those guys have aspirations of playing at the next level, and the more you can do, just the more valuable you are. And so whether it is training both left and right tackle, training both guard and tackle, you know, if you're blessed enough to be able to do center and guard, whatever it may be, I think it's a mentality, and we drill it, we work it. So in practice, you know, I'm mixing up the lineups. Maybe not every play or every team period, but throughout a day, a guy might be at guard, and then the next practice he might be a little bit more at center. And I think once you get those guys to buy in that I may be the 6th, 7th man, and I'm trying to look for an opportunity, I want to be able to just say, you're my 6th best guy, I'm throwing you in there. Not, you're only this position, so I have to throw somebody else in there. And then for a guy like Titan, I mean, All-American at tackle, to understand, and I think it's a testament to Coach Vegan and what he's built here and with the culture, like that guy didn't hesitate one bit. It was, what can I do to help this team win? If that's me playing guard, great. And look at him. He goes and he's an All-American at guard. So I think it's a mentality. I think you need to drill it and instill it in those guys and understand it's a benefit for them and the team. And when you get that buy-in, it's definitely special. And it gives us, as an offense and in our room, just flexibility to play our best 5 guys. That's what I keep harping on. It's our best 5 guys will play, period. I don't care if you're a true freshman, 6-year senior. If you're one of the best 5, you should be out there.
You would be hard-pressed to find more experienced attorneys when it comes to major felonies, sex crimes, attempted homicides, anything like that, because between Nathan and I and Megan and the rest of the attorneys in the office, we just have a ton of experience in those types of cases. And a lot of that comes from the background of prosecution. So Nathan was a prosecutor in the Marine Corps. I was a felony prosecutor down in Beaverhead County. So we did every possible felony there is. Trial experience when it comes to that. Did attempted homicide trials back in Indiana. And other major felonies. What I would say to potential clients why they should reach out to us is I think we separate ourselves from the competition when it comes to communication with our clients, transparency. A lot of people get an attorney and they won't hear from them for 6 months or something like that, and that's the biggest complaint that we hear is communication with clients. And I think we separate ourselves in that way. And then as far as results, all you got to do is go to our website. I think we would put our results up against anybody here in the state when it comes to what we're able to do. And at the end of the day, I mean, justice is the goal, but there's also a lot of mitigating factors out there for people that, hey, 99% of people out there made a mistake, want to own up to it, and want to take responsibility. The 1%, that's a different conversation. But yeah, I think we're in a great position to offer a ton of services for clients.
Join Town Pump's Pump It Up Rewards Plus program and never pay full price for fuel again.
Save 5 cents on every gallon every day at any Town Pump across Montana.
Plus, earn and redeem points on your favorite in-store items to get free stuff with our clubs.
Stop in and pick up a rewards card. Download the Pump It Up Rewards Plus app today.
Or visit townpump.com/rewards to register and start saving.
Town Pump. Right down the road. Pump it up. Oh, yeah.
Matt Smith joining us here on Nuanez Now, 102.9 ESPN Radio, or maybe you're listening on the Big Sky Breakdown podcast series. This is our ESPN Roundtable, presented by Stockman Bank of Montana. Looking at both sides of the line of scrimmage for the Bobcats as they get ready for the Sunny Holland Spring Classic on Saturday in Bozeman. You mentioned Fleischmann. It's been fun to get to know him. He's he's a unique character because, I mean, he's got a lot of intensity. He's overcome a lot of stuff. But here he is now going into his senior year. And I think he's one of the best players in the country, period, any position. I think he's a guy that's going to have a chance to keep on playing football if he wants to. What has it been like for you to sort of have a ground-level seat at watching him develop? And what's the next step for him? How do you push him to ascend one more level going into his final year?
Yeah, I think the fun part about Titan is there's always something that he's trying to get better at. And it's fun to be able to challenge him, whether it's for the team's need or his own need. I mean, going from tackle to guard, that's not an easy transition. And so last year he was still chasing, how do I do this better? How do I do this better? You know, I want to be able to do this, you know, and I think challenging him in football where practice there's still so many things to work on is a good thing. He is just such a positive energy in the room. He's an older guy. He knows when to get after guys. He knows how to bring the team up, and I think that's special. And the biggest thing in this day and age, right? You know, it's no secret people are trying to get Titan to leave Montana State, but he loves this program, and you don't get that everywhere. To be able to keep these guys here, he loves Bobcat football. He loves the community. He loves his teammates. It's special. And so to watch him every day go out there and attack it, even as an old guy now, it's fun, you know. And then now played at tackle in 24, played at guard last year, now mixing back and forth. There's still so many things that he can get better at and work on. So he's a workhorse for sure, and it's our job to manage him, make sure he can keep going. But he's a stud, and we love having him in the room, and huge presence not only in our room but on our team too.
Well, from your perspective, I mean, now that we have a couple of years worth of the transfer portal phenomenon and all this NIL money and all this stuff, it's pretty clear that the most coveted positions, I mean, it's become very much like the NFL, right? Like if you're an awesome position versatile offensive lineman or an awesome lockdown corner, like there's a lot of people who are going to offer you a lot of money. Great quarterback too. I mean, that guy's going to have a pretty good market on the open market if he wants to explore it. How do you sort of balance that part of it? Because, I mean, on one hand, as a coach, I'm sure you want guys that are going to get offers from the big schools. So that means you got really good players, but you want to keep them in-house and keep them home, which you guys did a great job of doing. So how do you sort of balance those factors when you're recruiting guys, developing guys, and also just forming an offensive line unit?
Yeah, I think it's always a compliment, right? When you have recruits that you've brought in and developed, and they're getting those kind of interests, right? I mean, it means you're doing something right, and Coach Vegan harps on it, and that's our identity. We want to be a developmental program. Some teams don't necessarily care about that. They can go get it in the portal. That's not us. We want to recruit the right guys. We spend a lot of time in that process, going through the right channels to pick the right guys. And so if a guy does leave, we want to look on our roster first and say, okay, we have the next guy up. He's already here. We know who he is. That's our goal every single time. I think it's all relationships, truly, and that might be cliche, but when a guy really knows you care about him, when you put the extra effort in, of course on the football field, but even in his personal life, you have tough conversations that maybe some people don't want to have with him, but you have to in order to get him where he needs to be. Or it's all those little details that I think the right guys kind of gravitate towards. The NIL and portal era, there is a little bit of, is the grass always greener somewhere else? And I think people have to decipher through that. And a lot of things sound good, but understanding what you have here, and especially here in Bozeman with the facilities we have, the coaching we have, I mean, it's second to none, even at the FBS level. And at the same time, truly, Colter, when you do have that relationship with guys, if they are getting incredible opportunities to go somewhere, you got to be happy for them and truly just help them make the right decision. Or at least that's what I try to do. I want to be there for those guys and help them discern, which path is better. Of course, I'm going to try to convince them to be a Bobcat because we love them here. But at the same time, when you do it the right way, in my opinion, you want those guys to be successful no matter what they do, and you want them to have a great life and do what's best for them and their families. And so, unfortunately, that's the case, and that means that obviously they were doing a good job here, and we wish them the best of luck. So,
there is a lot to be cautious about, it seems like, too, right? I mean, because there is a lot of money out there, but who knows what money is real money? Who knows? You know what I mean? Like, there's this, you hear all these numbers, but there's no transparency to it. I was talking about this yesterday on the show, too. You know, because there's not, some stuff is public information. Like if it's revenue share dollars, that actually can be summoned and a reporter can see that. But if it's money from a collective or it's money from, you know, a third party donor or whatever, you know, you might get offered this and this, but you don't have a contract. There's nothing that can be fulfilled. So it must be an interesting spot for you to sort of advise guys, because I'm sure they're hearing numbers, but then you have to sort of analyze, is that number actually real?
Well, the nice thing about it too is truthfully, I don't have to worry about money too much, and I honestly try to stay out of that.
Sure,
I try to stay strictly in the football department. Hey, where can you get developed? You know, and you know, talk about, obviously we can take care of you best as we can here, but I fortunately get to talk about the personal development, the football development, how I know we can set them up for whatever goal that they have. And luckily, you know, different people get to handle all that stuff, because that's above my pay grade, and I don't want to worry about that. I want guys that are, I mean, that's a big part, don't get me wrong. I mean, that's a big part of college football nowadays, but fortunately I don't have to advise on how much this money is or what that and the other. I just know that we can take care of our guys as best we can, and here's why, even maybe if they're getting more money, this is why you should stay here and develop and keep going.
Will you marry me in your future? Or maybe you do it all over again. Hi, I'm Brian Toon with Jewelry Design Center, inviting you to come see the largest selection of Will You Marry Me in the state of Montana. The brightest diamonds of every shape and size, unique settings built to last, and skilled jewelers on site offering free sizing and maintenance for life, because that's how long we want to be your jeweler. Jewelry Design Center in Missoula, on Brooks, across from the Montana Club.
Bobcat Nation, we're so proud to have played for Montana State.
And wouldn't be where we are today without this program.
Now it's our turn to give back. Bobcat Collective is making a real difference for current and future athletes.
Montana State gave us a foundation to pursue our NFL dreams.
Join us in building something special, because when we invest in our athletes, we invest in the future of Bobcat football. Go Cats.
Go Cats.
Go Cats.
Go Cats.
Join the collective today. Go Cats.
Matt Smith joining us here on Nuanez Now, 109 ESPN Radio. Okay, so let's talk about this year's unit. Obviously, Fleishmann is a returning All-American. Braden Zimmer had an awesome season, especially once he got settled in there at the opposite left tackle spot. Seems to me like the battles for you guys are on the interior. Obviously, Burke Massel has some experience coming back. A whole bunch of other up-and-comer guys. You know, Dylan Rollins and Everett Carr, those guys have played a little bit before, too. And then I know there's probably some other younger guys in the mix as well. So tell me about that interior of the offensive line and maybe how that's been going so far this spring.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, getting a guy like Burke back is huge. Truly, I mean, I love all my boys, Titan, Zim, all those guys. But if there's one guy when you inserted him back in the lineup that I think really got us going, it was Burke Mastel. Just his physicality, experience he brings to the game. Can't talk enough about how great of a valuable piece he is in our room, and being able to work the center, because we thought he was going to be our center the whole year. And then playing guard again, just that flexibility in case things go down. He's a cornerstone for sure on our interior. After that, when we lose JT, the good thing about Titan is he played a whole year at guard. So if we need to move him inside, great. For some of the younger guys maybe that are tackles. If we want him at tackle, I do think you mentioned Everett Carr. Again, kind of an unfortunate situation for him, and he battled through it as best he could, but moving him to left from right about a week before the Oregon game, I mean, that's not easy to ask him to do, but he sucked it up and went out there and truly gave it his all and gave it his best. So for him to then, when Burke came back, get back at his guard spot, play a little bit more tackle for us with twos, and then have this entire spring to work guard, he's a guy that's showing up to me where he's taken ownership of what that could potentially be at guard. I think Dylan Rollins is another guy, like you mentioned, getting a lot better. He knew the things that he had to work on going into this year, and I think that he's taken steps to attack that and to get better at it. So I'm pleased with his progress. That pretty good battle for that, whatever you want to call it, right guard spot. And then obviously with JT leaving, huge loss there. But Aiden Kaplan, I think, is having a really good spring. I think him just being able to get us all on the same page, be smart, be physical. I've seen him take steps even from maybe even first practice to now, or late in the season last year to spring ball. He's a guy that came in my office like, Coach, I want it. What do I got to do? And laid out those steps, and he's taking really, really good steps towards kind of achieving that opportunity for us this year. Younger guys, Nate Thornton's doing a really good job as a true freshman, redshirt freshman, whatever you want to call him now, at either tackle spot. He's competing really well. Tommy Nielsen's another guy on the inside that continues to battle and push for spots, whether it's center, both guards, whatever it may be. And, Dalton Noble, another guy that's competing and doing a really good job. So overall, I think the competition is healthy and alive in the room, and that's all I can really ask for in the spring, pushing guys along in competition. And it's definitely exciting to have those guys, and I think a pretty bright future, especially when everyone gets healthy.
A lot of really good young talent there, right? So, I mean, last question on that note, like what is sort of the ticket to ride for guys like Aiden Kaplan? I was really impressed with him in recruiting, right? I thought coming out, that's a guy that could be really good once he develops a little bit. Nate Thornton, same mix. Zimmer was kind of in that same mix a couple years ago, too. What's the thing that helps those guys, like, actually put themselves in the midst of a competition and actually maybe be a part of that top 8, that top 10?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, right, to begin with is their athletic ability. Here at Montana State, we look for guys that are athletic rather than just big. I think that plays a lot better in our offense, the way I teach O-line. I want athletes, and so those guys have that. I think maturity, there's a certain sense of maturity for a young guy truly to have in order to compete and be in those spots, right? Not to say young guys who are immature now can't be good. There's plenty of those guys that eventually figure it out and get that done. But I think the sense of maturity and the urgency, probably more than anything, of I'm in a spot where I can compete. Let's make sure I'm doing everything I can to get to that position. And so a guy like Aiden Kaplan, who almost got thrown in the fire, at least I kind of heard before I got here, where he's in there in the mix with everything, to then last year, learn a new technique and kind of understanding how I operate and how the offensive line operates. Really getting to learn under JT Reed too. Nate Thornton getting to learn under Zimmer and learn under Titan. I mean, that experience as well, I think our older guys being able to teach those younger guys, and again with the urgency and maturity to actually listen, right? Because all the older guys wanted to coach those younger guys, but the younger guys who actually learn, listen, and go apply it, those are the guys that can go compete early and have a fight chance to fight and compete.
Well, last thing for you, then, what do you want to see out of your group on Saturday during the spring game, and how much can be sort of determined, or maybe not determined, but just sort of shuffled out going into the block of training? What do you want to see, and how much can be sort of decided the next couple days here?
Violence and physicality, always. Literally, our only goal every day I walk out to practice is winning the line of scrimmage, period. If we're able to do that against our defensive line, we're going to be in a pretty good spot. So I want to see violence. I want to see physicality. I want to win that line of scrimmage. And I tell those guys, you are what you put on tape. And the same thing goes for me. So even though it's going to be April, it was April 21st today, I'm still trying to figure out which 5 guys are going to be there in the fall on Saturdays. And they know that. They accept that challenge, and they go out there. And some guys obviously are doing really good things, and some guys still have some room to work. But violence, physicality, win that line of scrimmage is what I want to see every single time we step on that field. And I'm going to harp on it until I'm done coaching, probably. So.
We're very excited to see your group. and very excited to see the football team as well on Saturday. We'll catch up with you then, but I appreciate you taking a minute here today.
Absolutely. Thank you.
One Pawn, Missoula's #1 pawn shop.
You want money? We got money. You need money? We got money. We're cash.
Do yourself a favor and make Cash One Pawn part of your online shopping habits. Cash One Pawn has an awesome online inventory, everything from firearms to power tools to speaker equipment to jewelry. Visit Cash One Pawn today.
Cash One Pawn.
8720 Roller Coaster Road, CashOnePawn.com.